Good morning, Watford. Nicole coming at you here today from Forest, and hope everybody's having a wonderful day. Just remember to take breaks as you need them and go at your own pace, and let's have some fun. All right, we will get started. We're just going to use a band today. Oh. All right, we will just start off with a march. And we're going to stretch it out to the side. All right, one-sided jack. Any shoulder impairments, only go to that shoulder height. If you're feeling good, you can go all the way up. Last one, and we're going to switch sides. Again, any shoulder impairments, only to that shoulder height. If you're feeling good, go all the way up. Two more. Last one. Back to that march. And we can add in some piano fingers. And we can scissor down in front. Coming up to that chest height. And back down. And coming back up. And back down. All right, running man, do nice and fast. Fast feet. All right, and let's do a pull down with the punch out. Two more on this side. Last one. March it out for a moment. And other side. So we do that pull down and a punch out. And two more. Last one. Good job. Let's do some skipping. And reverse it. And go forward. reverse. One last time, go forward and reverse. All right, great job. Grab a drink. And we're gonna grab our bands. Let's start off with some hip openers. So we're gonna take that band, wrap it around our mid-thigh, nice and tight. And then like you're stepping over a big rock or a big dog, we're lifting up and over and coming in back. We've got 3 more on this side. 2. And last one. All right, switch over to the other side now. Up and over, and bring it back in. And 3 more. 2. And last one. All right, let's release those bands. And we're gonna put it underneath the middle of our right foot now. We're gonna pull that knee in towards our chest. And with our hands nice and close to our foot on our band, we're gonna kick it out. We've got 4 more. 3, 2, and on this last one, we're going to leave it out, and we're going to point and flex, point and flex, and last time, point and flex. Nice and controlled leg circles. And reverse it. And let's push it out for 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Drop that foot down and release that band, switching it over to the left side. And let's kick it out. And we're going to leave it out on this last one. Point and flex, point and flex. Last time, point and flex. And nice and controlled with those leg circles. And last one, and reverse it. Last one, and let's push it out for 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Good job. Let's drop that foot down, release the band. Actually, we're going to leave the band underneath of our feet, and we'll do a little bit of bicep curls here. So starting off with that right side, tuck that elbow into the waist, and bringing the hand up towards the shoulder. Remembering to breathe. And last one. All right, let's put that thumb up in front. We've got a slight bend in that elbow of that right side, and we're just going up in front. And last one. Those ones hurt, so we're not going to do as many. All right, palm down now, and we're going to go out to the side. And again, we've got a slight bend in that elbow, and out to the side. And 4 more if you can here. I know these are difficult. 3, 2, last one. Good job. All right, we're going to switch over to the left bicep curl now. So again, tucking that elbow into the rib cage and bringing that palm up towards the shoulder.
Call reception, please. Call reception.
We've got 2 more of these. And last one. Good job. All right, thumb up in front. Again, slight bend in that elbow and just up. And last one. Palm down now, slight bend in that elbow, and we're going out to the side. And again, 4 more if you can. 3, 2, and last one. All right, let's take that band from under our feet and put it underneath of our armpits. We're going to start off with the chest press. So we've got it underneath our armpits. We've got a nice firm grip on it, and we're keeping tension as we push out and as it comes back in. We've got 4 more. 3, last one. All right, let's leave those hands out straight, and we're just fluttering here. And last one, good job. All right, reconvene, and this time we're going out straight with the palms up and fluttering. And last one, good job. All right, let's do our goal posts. So we've got our arms up, and we're bringing those forearms together. And last one. All right, let's release those bands. We're gonna tie it around our mid-thigh in a nice lovely bow. Grab a drink as well if you need it before we stand up. All right, safely coming to a stand. And we're gonna go behind our chairs. Sorry, I'm gonna back up so you can see my face. And we're gonna start off with that right side. We're gonna start off with some soccer kicks. So we've got a nice bend in that standing left leg, and we're flexing our foot as we come out like we're kicking a soccer ball with that right leg. And the last one, good job. All right, just give your leg a shake out, and we're gonna still flex that right foot, and we're going out to the side. Nice and controlled. And we've got two more of these. Last one, good job. All right, let's switch over to the other side. I do have a few more exercises, so we are gonna go back to the right side, but we're gonna switch to the left for now. Again, we're starting with those soccer kicks, so a nice flexed foot on that left side and kicking it out. And we got two more. And last one. All right. Wiggle out those legs. And we're doing out to the side now with the lateral lift. A nice bend in that standing right leg. Flex that foot and out. Two more here. And last one. Good job. Let's go back to that right side, and we're going to start with the knee up. So we're just going to lift our right leg up. We've got a nice bend in that standing left leg, and we're just doing a little pulse. Last one, good job. Now we'll do a hamstring curl. So I'm just turning my chair to the side so you can see. I'm going to bring up my foot. So I've got my leg at a 90-degree angle. This is a very small movement. We're just kicking up our heel towards our bum. And two more here. Last one. Good job. All right, over to the left side now. We'll start off with those little knee lift pulses. So bend in that standing right leg. We're lifting up that left knee, and then a small movement. Making sure to breathe. You've got their chairs there for support. Four more. 3, 2, last one. And again, that hamstring curl. So with the left, we've got it at that 90-degree angle, and then just kicking up that heel. And last one. Good job. Let's release those bands. And before we take a seat, we're just going to do a few squats. All right, so knowing where our chairs are behind us, and we'll just use them to kind of sit our butts down, and as we come back up, we are flexing, squeezing our bums. Let's do 3 more. 2. And last one. All right, let's widen out our feet a little bit. We'll do a sumo squat, and then we will move on to something else. All right, so we've got our feet at about a 45-degree angle. Chairs are still behind us for support, and we're going down, up, and squeeze. Feel this more in our inner thigh. And 3 more, we're almost done. 2, and last one, great job. All right, let's take a seat. My chair back up here. All right, grab yourself a drink. Okay, so we're going to do a few more arms, and then we'll move on to some abs and some thumbs, and then stretching. So I'm going to start off with the band in my left hand, bringing it over to my right shoulder. Again, I'm just going to turn sideways so you can see. And so I'm grabbing that band closer to my end, the more resistance I will have. And we're just pulling it straight down. got 2 more. And last one. Good job. All right, so now in the right hand, over on the left shoulder, grabbing it with my left hand. Lift that guy up here. And then again, closer to the thing, we're keeping our elbows locked into our rib cage as well, and pulling it straight down. And last one. Good job. All right, we will keep the band in our hands, and we're just going to have our palms up, lock those elbows in, and we're just pulling that band away. And we got 4 more if you can. 3, 2, last one. All right, let's put our palms down now. I'm at about chest height. I'm going to do the same thing. Keeping resistance in that band on both the pull and the release. And last one. Let's go overhead now and pull it down. And we have 2 more. Last one. All right, last exercise here for the arms. We're just sticking it underneath of both of our feet. And we're going to do an upright row. So we're going to grab lower by our feet. Again, the lower we grab, the more resistance we have. We're going to sit up nice and tall. Push those shoulders back. And we're keeping the elbows locked into our rib cage as we pull back. Now we've got 2 more of these. Last one. All right, let's release those bands. And we'll come up and stand and do some balance. So we're going to start off with a standing tree pose. So by all means, do what level works best for you. I'm going to show the variations. So you can start off just with, a toe tap to the side. You can go up to the mid-calf range. Or if you're feeling like you want to challenge yourself, you can go above your knee. Never on the knee, though, because that puts too much pressure. And we're going to hold. The chairs are there for support if you need them. And we are holding. Let's hold for 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. All right, other side now. Again, all the variations. You can do a toe tap at the side, you can do a mid-calf, or you can go above the knee, never on the knee. That chair's there for support. One side is definitely different than the other. And we'll up and hold. I'm having a struggle here. And we're holding for 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Good job. All right, that was definitely more tricky. And let's do a running man. So we'll start off with our left leg is going to be our one moving. So we're going to start off by lifting that left leg and holding, lifting and holding, and then let's kick it back and hold.
Do not eat that.
And back up and hold. And kick it back and hold. And one last time, up and hold. And kick it back and hold. Chairs are there for support if you need to hold on. All right, and release. Now over to the right side. So we're picking up the right leg now. We've got a bend in that standing left leg. And we're up and hold. And kick it back and hold. And up and hold. Kick it back and hold. Again, those chairs are there for support. And last time, up and hold. If you need us to tap down too, you can certainly do that. We're tapping back as we hold back. If you're able to lift your leg though, that just challenges yourself a little bit more. And done. All right, just a star, and then we'll do some abs and some stretching. So for the start, you can just tap down. If you're able to lift though, we've got our arms out wide, and we're holding. And keep holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. And other side, again, feel free to tap it out, or if you're able to lift and hold, holding and lifting, and lifting and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Good job. All right, let's take a seat back down. Finish up with some abdominals. So grabbing that band again, let's start with that band behind our chairs. We're gonna lock those elbows in. Just adding a little bit more resistance with the band. And we're folding forward, exhaling as we bring our chest towards our knees, inhaling as we come up. And let's do 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and last one. Great job. All right, before we set those bands aside, oh no, we are actually done with the bands, sorry. Throw them aside. All right, let's go to the edge of our chairs now, and we're gonna do a reverse crunch. So we're gonna lean back, keeping our chin away from our chest, feet flat on the floor, and using our abdominals to pull us up. We've got 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and last one. All right, I'm gonna put the chair back forward. So now we can just envision that we have a ball. And so we're gonna go down and then we're gonna come up and twist. Nice and tall before we do that twist. And that twist is alternating. Got 6 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. All right, sitting back in our chairs, we're just gonna do a side bend. So keeping our bums on our chairs, and we're just bending side to side. That bend is coming from the obliques, which are our side muscles. Got 3 more. 2, and last one. Great work. All right, one last exercise here, and we're gonna do the opposite knee to the elbow. So starting off with our left side, right elbow, and we're crunching them together. We're exhaling as we crunch together, inhaling as we separate. Five more on this side and we're done. 4, 3, 2, and last one. We got 15 on the other side and then we're stretching. Six more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Great work. All right, let's start off by stretching out our quads. So I'm going to show the variation of that. There is the standing, which I think everyone is aware. You can stand and lift our foot. You can use a band, you can use a chair. This is also a variation that you can just have a nice flex foot and you're kind of leaning forward, feeling that stretch in that front of the leg, quad muscle. And switch over to the other side. Give it a lift if you like. All right, let's come to a stand. Let's stretch out those hamstrings. So with our heel on the ground, toes to the ceiling, down and just pulse. And switch over to the other side. Last one. Good job. Let's grab the back of those chairs and go into a calf stretch. So pushing that back heel into the ground. You can lean forward to feel that stretch a little bit more. Remembering to breathe. And switch to the other side. All right, let's bring our feet together in a nice flat back as we fold forward. And let's widen out our stance, coming down into a squat. And now let's lean over to the left, straightening out the right leg. And lean over to the right now, straightening out the left. And let's come back up to a stand, nice and slow. And let's roll those shoulders back. Let's roll them forward. All right, let's stretch out our piriformis. So starting off with our right foot on top of our left leg, flex that foot, and maybe that's enough of a stretch for you. Maybe you want to put a little bit of pressure on the mid thigh of that right leg, or you can also add in a forward fold. All right, coming back up, let's cross that leg over now, and nice and tall before we twist. Opposite elbow to the knee. And unfurling ourselves, coming back forward. Let's uncross those legs. Bring up the left foot on top of the right leg now. Flexing the left foot. Again, maybe that's enough of a stretch for you. If you wanted to put a little bit of pressure on that mid thigh of the left leg, or like I said, you can add in that forward fold. And sitting back up. Let's cross that left leg over the right now. Again, nice and tall before we twist. And unfurling ourselves, uncrossing ourselves. And let's sit all the way back in our chairs and lean back. Leaning over to the right, grabbing onto the right wrist. And over to the left, grabbing onto the left wrist. And now let's fold forward, hugging underneath our knees, bringing our chin to our chest. And sitting back up. Let's stretch our triceps, so giving it a little push back. And switch over to the other side. And let's bring our arms wide, bring our chin to our chest. And let's interlock those hands behind our back. Sorry, I'm just going to turn. And you can give them a slight lift, just feeling that stretch in our chest. And then let's push our arms out forward, putting a bit of a curve in our spine. Back up. Let's stretch out our forearms. So include your thumb here. And push it down. And palm out. Again, include that thumb. And other side. And push it down. And palm out. Again, include that thumb. And let's just do some wrist rotations. And reverse the direction. And just last, we're going to bring our hugger knee in towards our chest. We can do some wrist or ankle rotations here. And make sure you reverse it. And other side. And, excuse me, reverse. All right, and that is all I have for you today. I hope everybody has a wonderful day, and I hope that we see each other soon. Take care.